Taoist Magic Talk Show brought to you by Taoist Master G 师傅 and 天日 Dragon Taoism ผู้亮天尊 Hi everyone, welcome back to the show. Today it's another very intense episode, so remember to save it up so you can listen again and take note because it's very, very technical. So let's cut it short. Today we're going to talk about the 5 most overlooked local deity in Taoist magic. So what are local deities? Well, you see, there are gods that are in an other world, such as what we call the celestial court. And this is like the headquarters or the office, okay, where all the gods are residing. And so that's where the source of the power is. And it's not here like at your house or, at my house. It's not like that. It's somewhere else that is far away, and we have to connect to it and reach it and talk to the god to ask them for help. So they're not in this dimension, not at your local area. Local deities are like the gods have split a clone of some gods up there to reside at your local altar. And that can only happen if you have an altar or if we use a special food or something to do it. And the deity, like the god, will reside at your location or in the altar for a period of time, such as 1 year, and then it will go back to where it comes from, and you can invite it to come back again. So this local deity is very important because it helps you to do things and protect you and so on. A lot of people are like, oh, I need the God's help. And all they know is, I need the gods from the high above. Like, oh, the something, the god of wealth or whatever. Like all the big ones, right? Like you always want, you want Bill Gates to help you. You want Steve Jobs to help you. But you forgot that they have workers that actually make the product for you, right? you can call their customer support, but you're like, oh, my computer is broken. I need Bill Gates here. I mean, okay, yeah, Bill Gates is important, but there are people that actually does the job, right? Not him. So today I'm going to introduce 5 local deities, and they're very important. Anyone who opened an altar and is in our lineage, and you open an altar with the method that we teach you, right? You can also invite the 5 local deities to your house. And there are different ways, so I'll talk about that later. But let's introduce their importance and power. So starting from the middle, okay, we're going to kind of use a little graphical grid, okay, to explain them. So in the middle, we have the landlord deity, which we call the Tao Deison. So the landlord deity is the main one in charge for the whole team. Okay, so all the local deities are governed by this landlord. So if you don't have the landlord deity, then nothing else can be done. You need to have the landlord deity first. Okay, and then you have a couple that is almost opposite. One is the kitchen deity, and one is the washroom deity. One fire, one water. So these two take care of the kitchen and the washroom. And then we have a door guardian deity and a bedside deity. So the door is where things come in, and the bed is where things go out. When you sleep, right, you push things back out to the pre-heaven, to your sun. So these 5 deities are one team. They work together to bring you protection and so on. Okay, so let's talk about how the structure works, okay? So I'm talking about in our lineage, okay? So every sect or lineage might have their own version of this kind of thing, and it doesn't work the same way for every sect. So we're just going to talk about what happened with my sect. Okay, so if you open the altar with my method, that's what's happening. So you open an altar. There are 2 decks. The top decks connect to the source of the lineage. So it has a sun pai, which is the lineage god signage. It has the stuff that shows, okay, this altar is XYZ lineage, and then it connects to these gods, right? So once you have that, you can connect to the celestial court and so on. So you have the top deck like that. The bottom deck is always the landlord altar, and you have another sun pie down there that connects to the landlord altar. So the landlord, the landlord deity don't come to you like it just pop out of the blue. What happened is in the celestial court, there is a big boss in charge of all the landlord deity, like the lord of the landlord. Okay, we call it the ground god or the ground empire. It's called the Dei Wong. Okay, Dei Wong. So this one is not local. The ground god is not local. The ground god is in the celestial court, but it governs all the altar that link to the celestial court. So if you build a new altar with the lineage method, then it will be registered in the court, and the ground god will have like a linkage to you. Then when you open your landlord deity altar, the ground god will like give a clone of itself, like split itself, like one clone of himself, and then become your local deity, which is your Tou Dei, which reside at your altar representing the ground god. So what does the ground god do? Besides governing and linking all the altars up, right? It's responsible for getting any messages or things from the altar to the court. So if, let's say, you have an altar and your altar is under attack, some evil spirit or people do evil magic and things like that and attack it, and you didn't learn that much magic yet, so you cannot sense it, you don't know what's going on, then what happened is your landlord will immediately inform its boss. So it will inform the ground god and say, oh, we're under attack, we need help. And then now the court has the information, then they can send help over. Very simple, right? Just like that. So because you cannot sense everything, you don't know, oh, my altar's under attack or whatever, you don't know, right? You cannot see it. Then you need the god to do his job. You see, it's very important, right? If you don't have the landlord, then what happened? Well, your altar get attacked, and then it just died, right? People like evil spirit can hijack your altar and become your god and claim to be your god. So that is very scary if your altar got hacked like that. But anyway, so the landlord deity is always there to govern, make sure everything is good, and communicate with the headquarter. But you see, having one landlord deity cannot deal with everything in the house or even everything in the local army, right? The army, like your local god will have its own army as well. So the landlord deity will then, if you have done the magic, then the landlord deity will split itself into a various clone of itself. Like it multiplies itself, right? And then the new ones that is multiplied or cloned out of the landlord will become your door god, your like door deity, the kitchen deity, washroom deity, and bedside deity. And they will be there to help you to guard, protect, and so on. So, okay, the door deity is very simple, right? Like a door guard. So people want to invade or penetrate your wall, they are there to protect. So it's very simple, right? Just like a door guard. You cannot come in, like that, right? Put restriction on it. Okay, so what happened with the kitchen and the washroom? How important is that? Well, the kitchen deity deals with the food, health, and things like that. Now, imagine you are eating food from the kitchen, and somehow there's like this sorcerer putting magic to curse your food. And if you have the kitchen deity, they can prevent that magic going in. But if you don't, the magic might slip in, and then you eat the food, you got the magic, right? It's like a way to curse you. And also imagine the army with the landlord deity, the army that fight for your altar, right? Imagine they don't have food to eat, right? So this kitchen deity. Take care of your health, like the human side, right? The food, and also the health of the celestial troop that reside at your altar. It's very important. Now, the washroom deity deals with things that goes out of the house. Okay, like you dump garbage, you go poop and pee, those kind of thing, right? Oh, why do you need to guard that part? Oh, very simple. Look, you had a store, and it's like a warehouse or something, and then you have the front door where you welcome people in, right? But you have a back door, and you need to go through the back door to throw garbage. Now, somehow you got some bad guys tagging you at the back door. So while you go out and throw garbage, they can kidnap you or attack you or snipe you with a sniper rifle, right? So you have to guard that part as well. And you see, imagine you're at war and the troops are like going to the washroom. Now they're like the most off guard. Their armors are off, the guns are off, everything is off the body. And then the bad guy come. It's like, haha, you don't have everything now. Okay, come on. Right? Yeah. Okay, personal experience. One time I was like in a magic battle, and during the time I was in the shower, during the bath time, the thing attacked. So I was like naked, and then taking off my protection food and all that, and then the stuff come and attack. That happens. So if you have a washroom deity, they can protect you and ensure that it's not going to happen, right? At least you have more resistance and not like just, freebie mode at that stage. Okay, so what about the bedside deity? Well, very simple. You see in like army camp, okay? You're like sleeping in the tents or something, and then, well, you're like all off guard. Now, if someone come and burn your tent, what's going to happen? Barbecue, right? So that happens as like in real life as well. When you are sleeping, usually that's the time those people do evil magic, because you're like all open and free to hit. So people will do things on you during the time you usually sleep. And that's why most evil magic always happen around like midnight or like 3 a.m. and so on. Like when you're in deep sleep, that's the best time for evil magic to hit you. If you have the bedside deity, you don't need to worry about that. And also it deals with like harmonizing, couples and things, so you don't get into a huge fight. And it helps, if you have a big fight or, evil magic or negative energy flying around, and it makes you like hot-headed and always want to fight and argue, right? This bedside deity helped a lot. I have witnessed that myself. A lot. So you see, these are so important. You cannot ignore them. They are very, very important. It's like you have a bank, then you need some guard, right? You can't just like, oh, I have a bank, that's good enough. I'm making big money. You need guards. You need things to like protect. It's like you got a house, you have a door, then you need a lock. If you don't put a lock up your door, what's the point, right? So, if you are not a disciple, and you are not, maybe you're a disciple, but you're a newbie, you haven't learned up to that stage where like you're building your altar yet. Or maybe you cannot even build your altar yet. Then what can you do to get these help? Well, very simple. You can request the customized food from me. You go to our website and you request a customized food and tell me which deity you need. And well, one food is for one deity, okay? So I can do the food for you, and what happened is it will split a clone of my cultivated whatever god, like the kitchen god or whatever, right? And then split a clone and go to your house. So when you tape the food up, you will have that deity at your location. However, this will only last about 1 year. The next year, the like those deities will like come back and reset everything, okay? And then you need to request a new food again. So usually people request in the beginning of the Chinese New Year, which in this year is January 22nd. And if you request the food around that time, then it means that next year, before the new year comes, you can change the food out. So these 5 local deities, they work together as a team, and you can like request one or every one of them. Like you can request them as a group, like everyone, right? Or you can request just that because you really need that kind of help more. It's okay, you know. Um, these local deities, they seems very weak, maybe. Like some people think, oh, you need to have a big name, you know, like General Kwan or something. Like the big name, and it's more powerful, right? These are like small gods, small deities. They are not important. No, you're wrong. Okay, you cannot underestimate how important these deities are. It's like you only know the big names like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, the big ones above, right? But you forgot like the workers and the managers who are like not even known in the news. Those people, you need those people. You don't have those people, then what can you do with the big people, right? Like even you have good ideas, nothing's going to come out of it. You need the small guys. And deities, gods, there are many different levels of gods and deities. Some are like high up, like a boss. Some are low down and they have to do work. The celestial troops, they are like small because they are like just troops, right? They just do things and that's it. But if you don't have them, what can you do? Like you got attacked, no one's protecting your place, right? The big god cannot protect your place just by themselves. They need an army. And to have an army, then you will have like smaller gods, right? Simple, just like that. So another question from someone is, do you need a statue or build an altar to worship these local deities separately? Like I need to open an altar and burn incense at the kitchen or inside the washroom, things like that. Do I need an altar? Do I need to worship them separately? Well, the answer is yes and no. Like you can if you want to. Like for example, the kitchen deity, if you want to have an altar, small one, you can like just set up a board and like install a board to the wall. So you have like a small little thingy like a table, right? Or a shelf. And then you can put an incense pot there and you can put the food there. So it's like, okay, kitchen god, kitchen deity is there. And you can also separately worship it. It's fine like that. Okay? But you don't have to, because I said already, all these local deities are governed. They are like also created and governed by the landlord deity. So you only need the main landlord altar to communicate with them. Right? You can burn incense at the landlord altar and then speak to the door god or door deity. Very simple, because everyone is related to that. They are under that department, right? So if you have anything you want to say to them, you just like burn incense and hold the incense and say, door god, I got a message for you. Like that, right? And you just talk to that deity and then bow and then relay the message. That's just that simple. You don't need to burn incense inside the washroom. It's like getting all smoky, right? You don't need to do that. So bedside deity and so on, yeah, you can just talk to them at the landlord altar as well. But if you really want their help, like I need you to stay inside the room, the bedroom to guard, right? Then you need to write a fool or have a fool that, you can then ask the actual god to go there and then protect you or whatever, right? So yeah, you can do it this way too. Anyway, my timer is up. So today is actually the anniversary of the kitchen deity. So yeah, if you want to request the food for inviting one of the kitchen deity to your house, you can also do that. Go to our website and check out the customized food and put like kitchen deity right there, that I will know. Okay, so we'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.